Hello, I'm Sharon Jackson, and this video is for the Service Learning Project. My Service Learning Project was called Cups for the Impaired. It is something that I created on my own. I created this project to help the organization of the Deaf School in Phoenix. The role of this deaf school is to teach students who are deaf, um, to just teach them the daily, everyday things that normal people would be teaching in schools, and just so that they have the same life as everybody else. The issue being addressed is to get young kids to be aware of the deaf people and how they live in their lives. The work I did is important because it shows the kids I worked with a sense of that they worked with a sense of willingness to learn more about the deaf culture and its community. My experience with the Service Learning Project was very exciting. While I was trying to develop the project, I tried making the project run smoothly for the kids as well as for myself. It was fun trying to do something I have not done before. On the day of the presentation of my project, my mentor teacher allowed me to take 2 hours of her time to teach the kids the meaning of being deaf, as well as I guided the kids through an activity where I blindfolded them and put soundproof earmuffs on their ears and gave them instructions on what to do. It gives the kids a real life sense of feeling of what it's like to be deaf as well as blind. And I did blind because I couldn't decide whether I wanted to do the deaf school or the Blind Foundation of Arizona. I couldn't decide. I ultimately decided to do the deaf school. Anyways, once the kids were finished with the activity, I had them sit down and I taught them the ABCs of sign language, F, G, whatever. Taught them that, and I taught them, the 1 through 10 numbers. I also taught them mother, father, brother, and sister. The role I played was being the teacher. When I taught the kids the lessons, I guided the kids through the activity. I was teaching them different sign language. My most memorable experience was probably watching the kids repeat after me after I was showing them the sign language, as well as asking me questions about what signs were what signs. Like some kids asked me what the sign for dog was, for butterfly or cat or car or even dinosaurs. So it was memorable for them to come to me, ask me what these signs were, because it shows more of an interest into the deaf community. And that's kind of what I want to get out of this. How I applied my learning to this. What I learned in class was basically just about being a teacher and how to teach the kids, and just doing simple lesson planning. I kind of based that off my own role. I took what we learned in class, in education class, and I tried to implement it into my project by trying to teach the kids and handle the kids, manage them, and in order to teach them what I wanted them to know at that certain time. And I also used the previous knowledge and a brief overview of lesson planning in order to build a simple but understandable lesson plan for myself. What I learned from this experience was my mentor teacher gave me feedback on my performance, and she said that I did a really good job. She said I did a good job at keeping the kids focused, keeping them entertained. She said I did a good job at monitoring the class and making sure everyone did what they were supposed to be doing. What I learned myself from the children is that children are very curious. Once you introduce them to a new topic that they probably haven't heard of before, they go all out into it. They want to know as much as they can, to the point to them that they can't understand it anymore. They want to know as much as possible. My greatest impression was probably the autistic child in my class. She is usually really hard to get focused and get doing her work, and she's usually kind of hard to deal with. But when I started teaching and showing her this and showing her and the class the different signs and what it is being deaf, she got into it real quick. She was real enthusiastic about it. She kept asking questions and she wanted to know more. She wanted to keep doing the activity over and over again. And what I gained from this experience is how to better my teaching in the future and also how to manage my time. I almost ran out of time, so I was answering all the kids' questions. Um, this this was my own project, but the money that I am making by selling these cups are going to be donated to the deaf school. So there isn't really an organization where I had volunteers. It was just basically me and and the volunteers were basically the little kids coloring on the cups, which I will show you later. Final thoughts. Overall, I liked being able to connect with the kids of my intern class on a different level. There was not anything that I really disliked. I feel that service learning is a valuable thing because whether you go out and help into the community that's already been established or you're creating your own project like me, overall it still means in the same terms that you are helping other people. So overall, I sold the cups. I ended up making over about $200, and that's all going to be donated to the deaf school in time for fall semester. And I have some cups just basically kind of showing you what they looked like. They're just white ceramic glass cups, and they used permanent markers to draw on these cups. I took them home and I baked them in my oven, and once they were baked, the Sharpie stays on there and it won't wash off unless you like really try to wash it off. There's a spider. I have a whole bunch more. These are the ones that I have at the moment. They have been sold, but I'm using them for this example. This is the one I have done. We had some leftovers because some kids were absent, so I ended up just filling it in with them. But basically, overall, it was a really good experience. I would definitely do this again, either continue this project for years, expanding it, making it bigger, or just try something different.